from the board. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video. So in a previous video, I had a look and gave a review of this Aldi / Shepak digital drill press. It was fine for what it was. I got it for free. Thank you, Maternale, for donating it to me. But one of the things that I did with it was I drilled a 20 millimeter hole using these Ferrex Forstner bits. And while it did an okay job getting through this, this is just pallet wood, so it's some unknown timber. This seems quite a hard wood, but who knows? It's definitely harder than some other pallet wood that I've got. But the Forstner bit really struggled to get through it. So I went and had a look on Sharpening Forstner bits, and that's what we're going to do today. So this is the 20mm bit. I had never used it prior to cutting that hole. So you can see there's the 20mm. There's the reduced size to actually fit inside a standard chuck. And what I've learnt about sharpening these is that, well, you must make sure that you do not touch the outer edge of this. And it makes sense because the outer rim of this is really where the size comes from. So if I line that up, I can see that it's 20mm from edge to edge. If I start doing this to it, it removes material and it actually becomes a smaller size. So the cutters on these is just two edges, and then you've got basically nickers that slice through the grain so that these scraping, cutting action will actually rip it out. So you have to actually sharpen them from the inside out, as it were. Now there's two cutting edges. There's these ones here that can be sharpened by actions this way, so that they get a nice flat, and I suppose if I really wanted to, I could increase the actual angle this way as well, though that might be a little bit tricky. But then from this edge, the actual sort of nickers, the slicing action on the side as it spins, is from the inside against that edge that way. You must never go from that kind of action, because then it will actually reduce the diameter of the hole. So I've got my my Easy Laps, which I bought a very long time ago, and these are really great, and they've sharpened a lot of things. You can see the wear and tear on those. And then I've also got this Easy Lap, and this is actually designed for like fish hooks. I got this with the mini lathe, for the mini lathe, a really long time ago, because it's got a groove there, but it's also a D shape. So you've got a flat edge and then the curved edge, which is great for doing things like gouges. So this will help get into the smaller areas that this cannot. So I guess the first and easiest thing to do is just these edges. So I'm going to apply it in that direction and whip across it. And of course, we should add a little bit of, away from the electrical things, just a little bit of moisture there to help with that, not too much. And we're just going to apply that firmly against that edge, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, just, can I feel a difference? That is actually, the weirdest thing is that 5 strokes on that has already made a difference. So maybe I'm just going to do it like this. So that was the edge that I just touched up. That's the non-touched up edge. Just trying to find the right angle there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how does that? Wow! I mean, that is a significant difference. I'll see if that will that work for a decent contact angle. Yeah, so let's try that as well. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll rotate 180. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see now in the reflection that it's taken some of that edge, and I've got a nice sort of shiny patch there. So it's actually not even the factory grind on it is not even consistent, because I've got one plane doing this and then there's a slight tilt there, which is kind of like a micro bevel that they must have applied at the factory, because now that is, yeah, that's an edge. Okay, so this side's probably a bit harder to get into, and that's where I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go that way. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can see that it's rough there. I'm actually going to go the other way, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How does that compare? Yeah. All right, well, let's just try it on this one. 1, that wasn't really a 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that definitely made a difference. Not so much on that side yet. Let's try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay. Now this triangle tip bit that helps with breaking it up as it goes probably doesn't need a lot, but let's just give it a little bit of love as well. Just to get some of those edges maybe a little bit more crisp. All right, so now I've just applied roughly, well, 10 strokes on those and 5 strokes on those. And this is just with the medium. So the medium, I think, is what? 400, right? So not even down to a 600 fine. And I think this is probably very similar. This does not tell me what it is exactly. I can't remember, but okay. So I've got the same block just for an ease of comparison. I get my chuck key. I'm not storing it with the actual press at the moment. That's a bit small. So, oh no, there we go. I think it was the last thing I put in here. Excellent. Nice and firm. I will need to put on some ears, methinks. So, excuse me while I swap out the power supply, because the lights are going to dim as well. Lights back on, drill press is on, get some ear protection on. I got glasses, but I'm still going to put some eye protection on. Hearing protection, eye protection, read the manual. No loose hair, no gloves. Okay, now is that plunge depth? It's no good, so let's just adjust this down. There we go. Tighten that up. Turn that on. So with this, it was 1100 RPM, I believe. So here we go. Make sure that that's actually firm, not going anywhere. I can see there's a bit of wobble. All right. I don't know if that was much better. It feels kind of better, but I mean, I just broke through there. The hole is pretty clean. It looks good. It's glossy. There's no burning on it. It reads pretty much just over 20, just under 20 and a half, I'd say. About the same as before. Whether that made a difference or not, it's very hard to say. So I'm just going to turn that off before I go sticking my fingers near it. Okay, no power. Test for dead. Does it still feel sharp? Yeah, it does. I can still catch like my finger on that. So yeah, who knows? So that was a really quick look at just how you're supposed to sharpen Forstner bits. Honestly, I probably could do a little bit better on that. The actual angle, now that bit is quite hot to the touch because it's obviously just gone and cut a hole. But if we just let that loose. It's warm. But yeah, so I think, because I barely did anything to it, you can see that there's still the really heavy scratch marks from factory sharpening, these really big gouges that are from whatever mill polisher that they've got there. If I was actually to flatten that out, I think I'd probably get a better edge. And also this micro bevel business, you can see there's one edge there and a different angled edge there, which is not even consistent because over here this is much more even across that. So if I spend a bit more time on this, I will probably get a better result. But as the knickers on the side go though, they're actually quite sharp. I'm very happy with that. So there you go. That is how you would sharpen and restore a Forstner bit. Obviously the bigger size ones would be easy to do because it's less fiddly, but make sure that you only go on the inside edges. You never touch the outside edge of the actual bit itself. So hopefully that helps you out if you do have your own drill press. If you do pick up some Forstner bits, either because they're really cheap ones and not well sharpened, or you've got some that you used a while starting to get dull, rather than throwing it out, spending more money, if you've got some sharpening kit available to you, then spend a little bit of time on that and bring them back up to cutting sharpness. Thanks very much for checking out this video. Yeah, any comments and thoughts below, please yeah, hit that like, subscribe and share button. Thanks for coming along and checking out this video, and of course, as always, until next time, happy clacking.